You've barely set your bag down, and a coworker is already pulling you aside to tell you about the morning they're having. A few minutes later, a supervisor sends a difficult caller your way because you're the one who's good with the hard ones. And when a room or the room gets tense, nobody says it out loud, but everyone waits for you to be the one who stays steady. And so you do. You stay steady, you handle the hard call, and you listen to the coworker. And by the end of the day, you're worn out in a way that's hard to explain because nothing dramatic happened. You were the calm one again. A lot of people in this spot decide they're being dramatic or that they shouldn't be this tired when they can't point to one big thing that went wrong. So they push the feeling down and they keep going. But the tiredness you're feeling is real. And there's a reason for that tiredness. You're slowly becoming the place where other people's pressures go. And carrying that pressure all day takes something out of you. Being the calm one isn't a personality trait that you're born with. It's a role that got handed to you at work, even though no one ever called it a role. I'm Tammy Brewington, founder of People First Workflow, and I built this work after years in roles where difficult calls, complaints, and escalations were part of the job, where over time I realized something important. The hardest part of the work wasn't the conversation itself. It was managing my own stress while staying clear and professional. So I started building tools to support that part of the work. So in this video, I want to stay with what it's like to be the steady one on a team and look at how the role gets handed to you and why the role wears you down, though you're good at it. Here's the part worth seeing clearly. You didn't volunteer for this. No one sat you down and offered you the job to holding everyone steady. It happened gradually because you stayed calm a few times when things got hard, and people noticed that. And after that, the hard things started coming to you by default. The role got handed to you one difficult moment at a time until being the calm one became something everyone expected without anyone ever deciding it on purpose. And once that expectation is in place, you can see the role all through your day. The angry caller gets routed to you because you'll keep your composure. The coworker who's overwhelmed comes to you because you'll listen. When leadership is under stress, they tend to lean on you to keep the team from falling apart. None of that shows up in your job description, and none of it gets counted as work, but all of it still comes to you. This is what I call default stabilizer role assignment. When an organization doesn't build a structure for handling pressure, the pressure still has to go somewhere. And the pressure goes to the steadiest person available. You become the default container, not because the work was designed that way, but because you stayed calm and the system leaned on your calmness instead of building its own. The role exists, and this is the part I most want you to hear. Calm that depends on one steady person is borrowed calm. It holds only as long as that person does. But the moment the calm one is out for the day or worn down or finally leaves, the whole team feels the difference because the calm was never built into the work. The calm was being supplied by a person. Real composure on a team comes from shared structure, where there's an agreed way to take in a hard moment, such as write down what happened and hand it to the right place, or that staying steady stops being one person's private job. I built frontline confidence around exactly this because calm shouldn't have to depend on one person holding it for everyone. And the people who stay steady shouldn't have to do it with structure, without no structure underneath them. And this isn't only about you. Almost every team has a person that pressure tends to route to. From the outside, the team looks fine because someone is absorbing the friction before the friction ever shows. But that steadiness has a cost. And the cost is being paid by one person who is holding more than anyone around them realizes, while everything on the surface looks calm. So, if you're the calm one and you've been wondering why you're so tired when you're supposedly handling everything well, that is not a sign that you're weak or doing something wrong. You've been carrying a role that the structure should have carried, and you've been doing it without anyone naming the role or sharing it. Once you can see that being the calm one is a role and not a personality, you start to notice something about where that role leads. You're not tired because you can't handle the pressure. You're tired because you've been handling pressure for everyone in a spot no one built any support into. And that part was never yours to hold alone. There's a pattern that tends to come next, and I want to look at it with you. When you're good under pressure, the reward is usually more pressure. The hard accounts, the difficult callers, the situations no one else wants. And they tend to find their way to the person who handles them well. In the next video, I want to look at how being good under pressure ends up earning you even more of it and what that does to a person over time. So stay with me.